when I found out that Luke and I were the leads of season 3, my first reaction before being like, isn't it so fun to play like the weirdo in the corner? And that's a real
Friendship is at the heart of Bridgerton, complementing its romance, stunning costumes, and memorable setting. From sibling bonds to unexpected connections, the show masterfully explores complex relationships that resonate deeply with fans. This article ranks the top 10 friendships in Bridgerton, celebrating moments of support, growth, and camaraderie that make the series unforgettable. Highlights include Penelope Featherington's surprising but heartfelt bond with Genevieve Delacroix, Lady Danbury's enduring connections with both Violet Bridgerton and Queen Charlotte, and the witty dynamic between Kate and Eloise Bridgerton. Topping the list is the unparalleled sibling friendship between Benedict and Eloise Bridgerton, whose shared understanding and empathy transcend societal constraints, making their bond the most cherished in the series. As fans eagerly await Season 4, these friendships remind us why Bridgerton continues to capture hearts, season after season. The 10 best friendships in Bridgerton, ranked. Dearest gentle viewers, the third season of Bridgerton was a true highlight of 2024, giving Penelope, Nicola Coughlan, and Colin, Luke Newton their season, and setting up Season 4 for Benedict, Luke Thompson, and Sophie Yeren. Although it will be a while until the release of the next season, the show is still at the forefront of fans' minds, and not just because of the regular updates about Season 4. Bridgerton is the sort of show that fans think about even in between seasons, due to their love for the characters. Bridgerton has a memorable and fun setting, a great soundtrack, and beautiful costumes, but what really makes the show are its characters. The characters are all unique and complex. They have strong character arcs, as well as romantic relationships to root for, and great friendships as well. From the siblings' friendships with each other, to some of the more unlikely friendships in the show, these are the 10 best friendships in Bridgerton. 10. Eloise Bridgerton and Kate Bridgerton. Portrayed by Claudia Jessie and Simone Ashley. In Season 2, the main focus of Kate's, Simone Ashley, storyline was her romance with Anthony Bridgerton, Jonathan Bailey, as well as her relationship with Edwina, Charithra Chundran, as a protective older sister. Eloise, Claudia Jessie, and Kate did not interact as much that season, but in the scenes that they did have together, it was clear that they clicked. The two are very similar in a lot of ways, as they are both firm in their convictions, and they are not afraid to stand up for themselves and the people around them. After Kate married Anthony, she took on a bit of a sisterly role with Eloise in Season 3. She was there to provide her with advice and support when needed, and it was clear that Eloise trusted Kate and felt comfortable confiding in her. There should definitely be more scenes between these two characters in the coming seasons, but their scenes together so far have been very fun and sweet, and they clearly get along very well. 9. Simon Basset and Will Mondrich. Portrayed by Regine Page and Martin Zimhangby. Simon Basset, Regine Page, sadly, has not been seen since the Season 1 finale of Bridgerton, and his presence is deeply missed. There are many great relationships that left the show along with him, like his relationships with Daphne and Phoebe Divener, and Lady Danbury, Adjoa Andoh. Simon was first introduced as a friend of Anthony's, but his best friendship was actually with Will Mondrich, Martin Zimhangby. Although Will and his wife, Alice Emma Naomi, are now main characters, he was first introduced as Simon's friend and confidant. Simon's friendship with Anthony was mentioned more than it was actually shown, and the show never made their closeness that believable. In contrast, Simon's relationship with Will was really lovely. As Simon started to fall for Daphne and things escalated into a duel between him and Anthony, Will stood by him the whole time. In turn, Will definitely needs a close friend to talk to after Simon has left, especially after he decided to close his club in Season 3. 8. Penelope Bridgerton and Genevieve Delacroix. Portrayed by Nicola Coughlan and Catherine Drysdale. Penelope's friendship with Madame Genevieve Delacroix, Catherine Drysdale, was an unexpected delight that started in Season 2, after Genevieve started to put the clues together that Penelope was Lady Whistledown, Julie Andrews. Everyone else in Penelope's life initially felt very betrayed and angry when they first learned this, but Genevieve was the exception. She and Penelope didn't become close until after she learned the truth. Everyone else in Penelope's life initially felt very betrayed and angry when they first learned this, but Genevieve was the exception. Since Genevieve found out, she and Penelope have bonded as women who prioritize their careers, with Genevieve's dressmaking and Penelope's writing. Their friendship is very lovely, as Penelope helped Genevieve get more business at a time when she needed it, and Genevieve supported Penelope after Colin found out that she was Lady Whistledown. It is nice to see Penelope have a friend and confidant outside the Bridgerton and Featherington families, and their friendship is a true highlight of the show. 7. Kate Bridgerton and Edwina Sharma. Portrayed by Simone Ashley and Charithra Chundran. Although Edwina hasn't been seen since the season 2 finale, the friendship between the two Sharma sisters was one of the most compelling and touching relationships in the show. Kate always felt responsible for Edwina, and she often took on a parental role when looking out for her sister. Kate sacrificed a lot to make Edwina's life better, and rather than resent Edwina for that, Kate still loved her deeply. The main source of conflict in Bridgerton Season 2 was, of course, the love triangle between Kate, Anthony, and Edwina. Because Edwina's reaction towards Kate after finding out was so unfair and harsh, it is easy to forget the good parts of the sisters' relationship. The two of them generally got along really well before the love triangle occurred, and they had some really sweet scenes. Hopefully, the show will bring Edwina back at some point for some more sisterly moments with Kate in the future. 6. Anthony Bridgerton, Benedict Bridgerton, and Colin Bridgerton. Portrayed by Jonathan Bailey, Luke Thompson, and Luke Newton. While all 8 of the Bridgerton siblings clearly care about each other, there are some really fantastic friendships within the larger dynamic between the smaller pairs and groups of siblings. One of these is the trio of the 3 eldest Bridgerton brothers, Anthony, Benedict, and Colin. There are some really great scenes of the 3 of them being friends, joking around with each other, and giving each other advice. Especially in Season 3, Anthony and Benedict served as Colin's confidants when he was struggling in his relationship with Penelope. They are best as a trio, but there are also some great moments between the duos, most notably Colin hilariously getting Benedict high in Season 2. These relationships aren't perfect, and the show never resolved the Season 2 storyline where Benedict was angry about learning what Anthony did to get him into art school. They're a great trio, though, and one of the best Bridgerton friendships. 5. Eloise Bridgerton and Cressida Cooper. Portrayed by Claudia Jessie and Jessica Madsen. Eloise's central friendship was always with Penelope, and that was a major focus of Bridgerton's first 2 seasons. Additionally, Cressida Cooper, Jessica Madsen, had always been placed in an antagonistic role, especially to Daphne in Season 1. Naturally, it was a major surprise in Season 3 when, after her falling out with Penelope in the Season 2 finale, Eloise became best friends with Cressida Cooper. This friendship absolutely should not have worked on paper, and yet, it somehow became one of the loveliest and most honest friendships of the show. Eloise and Cressida had a really special bond, supporting each other and providing advice throughout Season 3. Her friendship with Cressida made Eloise less judgmental and more compassionate. They sadly had a brutal falling out last season that will hopefully get resolved in the near future. 4. Penelope Bridgerton and Eloise Bridgerton. Portrayed by Nicola Coughlan and Claudia Jessie. In a lot of ways, it can be argued that Eloise and Penelope's friendship is the heart of Bridgerton. Each season centers on one romantic relationship, but this friendship has followed a compelling narrative arc over the show's first 3 seasons. Once best friends since childhood, Eloise and Penelope had a major and devastating falling out after Eloise realized that Penelope was secretly Lady Whistledown. The break for most of Season 3 was exactly what Penelope and Eloise's friendship needed. They had always been especially close and in sync, but they soon became bad friends with each other, with Eloise ignoring Penelope's problems and Penelope secretly writing about the Bridgertons. Although the show sadly threw Cressida under the bus in the process, the reunion between Penelope and Eloise at the end of the season was touching, and seems to promise a new and better stage of their friendship. 3. Lady Danbury and Queen Charlotte. Portrayed by Adjoa Andoh and Golda Rocheville. The best part of the friendship between Queen Charlotte, Golda Rocheville, and Lady Agatha Danbury is that it spans decades and even spans across TV shows. Chronologically, the two first met in Bridgerton's prequel, Queen Charlotte, A Bridgerton Story, shortly after Charlotte, India Amartifio, married George, Corey Milcreast. The Danburys and Arsema Thomas and Cyril Nri were given noble status. They developed a sweet friendship, and Agatha was Charlotte's main confidant when she was struggling to adjust to her new life. They are a very funny pairing, and Agatha is the only person in Bridgerton who is willing to tell Charlotte like it is. Now, all these years later, Queen Charlotte and Lady Danbury are still great friends in Bridgerton. They still disagree on occasion, mainly on the issue of Lady Whistledown and how seriously to approach her. Charlotte and Agatha are one of the best Bridgerton friendships, though. They are a very funny pairing, and Agatha is the only person in Bridgerton who is willing to tell Charlotte like it is. 2. Lady Danbury and Violet Bridgerton. Portrayed by Adjoa Andoh and Ruth Gemmell. Lady Agatha Danbury and Violet Bridgerton, Ruth Gemmell, have always had a nice friendship, offering advice to one another and sharing some funny and sweet scenes since season 1 of Bridgerton. Like Agatha's friendship with Charlotte, Queen Charlotte, A Bridgerton Story deepened and complicated Violet and Agatha's friendship in a nuanced and touching way. They were always a lovely friendship, but Queen Charlotte and season 3 of Bridgerton elevated this pairing to one of the best of the show. As Agatha was shown to have had an affair with Violet's father, Keir Charles, in the past, Violet found out about it in the present when she found the birthday crown that their father had made for Agatha back then. Things were even further complicated between the two of them when a romantic spark flew between Violet and Agatha's brother, Marcus as Daniel Francis, in season 3. The resolution was touching, with the two women acknowledging both relationships and ultimately prioritizing their friendship. 1. Benedict Bridgerton and Eloise Bridgerton. Portrayed by Luke Thompson and Claudia Jessie. There is no Bridgerton friendship on the show that is better than that between two of the best Bridgerton siblings, Benedict and Eloise. The two just understand each other in a way that none of the other siblings or friendship pairs do. Starting with that first deep conversation on the swings in season 1, it was clear that Benedict and Eloise have such a great friendship because, in a lot of ways, they are mirrors of each other. Benedict and Eloise have a certain empathy that is reserved for one another, so they are able to give each other advice and support. Both Benedict and Eloise want more than the life that society is pressuring them to have. Benedict has a passion for art, and Eloise is interested in activism and literature. They are both trapped by society, and Eloise is additionally trapped by gender roles, while Benedict is also trapped by heteronormative societal structures. Neither one of them fits the mold of what is expected of them. Benedict and Eloise have a certain empathy that is reserved for one another, so they are able to give each other advice and support. They are able to help each other even when their other friends and siblings cannot.